Hey everybody, welcome to another video of Mr. Flutter. In this video I'm going to show you how to work with progress indicators in Flutter. And I'm gonna go just step by step and show you exactly how it works and how you can use it in your application. So now I just created basically a page, a blank page, and we are going to use each one of them and see how it works. So basically, there are two types of progress indicators. One is linear progress indicator, and the other one is a circular progress indicator. So we're just going to have an app bar here and a body, which is in this case, let me see, let's make it null for now. Let's create a function that returns a progress indicator, linear progress indicator. Basically, I'm making a separate method because I want to use be able to easily use each one of them in our body of the page. And so the other one will be circular. So basically, by default you can just let all the params empty, so you can just return an empty progress indicator. So let's first go for we're gonna have maybe a container, and it will have a child, and the child will be center. That means every child of center will be centered horizontally and vertically. So for this we are going to give this a padding, and we are going to use an edge insets all of whatever, let's do 16, and then we are going to give this a child, and that will be our linear progress indicator. So far so good, right? We just run the page again, so basically refresh the page, and then you'll see that it's working. Basically, this is a indeterminate progress indicator. That means that it just keeps going until you stop it. This is good, for example, for when you are doing an action, but you don't necessarily want to show the progress actually, like in numbers or percentages. You just want to see, okay, something is busy doing something, and yeah, and that's that. And you can stop it whenever you want. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to introduce a variable, which is a bool, and then we are going to call it loading, and we're gonna put the loading on false. We are going to add a floating action button to our page. It requires us an unpressed. This is basically mandatory. So in our unpressed, so basically at first it's false. So basically it shouldn't be so it shouldn't show any progress unless we click on the button, and we can also stop it by clicking again on the button. So I'm going to do something like that. For example, loading is not loading. That means that this floating action button will act as so let's give this actually child, and that will be an icon maybe, huh? And then that icon will be something with download. Does it have something? Maybe a file or so. File download, that's perfect. So let's do that. Let's run this to see what happens. Okay, but only pressing R is not enough. We have to do Shift R because we want to restart the state of the app. So basically it's still running. That means that's the reason is because we're not using loading at all. So basically here we want to say if loading linear progress indicator, otherwise just the container. Yes, we run the application again, and you see that this actually respects the initial state. That means that if loading is false, so if it's loading, we show progress indicator, otherwise we show nothing. And how can we change this loading? This loading is changed each time we press the floating action button, and we have to use this set state. If you don't know what set state actually means, I'm gonna make a video about this that has to do with this stateful widget, and that you can only change the state of your app by using this, and you cannot directly change this loading because that's not nice. And so, for example, if we click on this download button, we see that our progress indicator is working and working. And imagine this download at some point finishes and you got some kind of callback or anything, you can just put loading on false. But in this case, I'm just doing it on this button so you can see how it works. But the principle is the same. You can just change the state based on something. In this case, it's based on clicking the button. So let's stop this and let's go to our circular progress indicator. So basically we are going to copy this and we're going to just change the name of this. So basically we are calling our other progress indicator, and then we save this and we click the button, and you see that the same happens basically, but it's just a circular indicator. Nice. Okay, but imagine that we have some kind of, imagine you're downloading something and you want to see some kind of progress, like how many percentages you are, for example. So basically we need a value for that. So both circular progress indicator and linear progress indicator both support value. This means that the value that basically becomes, in this case, becomes blue. So you can, instead of just going in an unlimited loop, you can give it a value so it stops basically when 100%, when it's on 100%. So what we are going to do, we're going to use some kind of progress value or something like that. So we have to introduce it here, and it's going to be an int, obviously. We're gonna put it on 0, which means in the beginning we haven't downloaded anything, so it's gonna be 0. And let's change this center to something like a column, because we want to show also the progress in numbers. So the first child will become the same thing, basically, the progress indicator, and the second child will be some kind of, I think a text widget, which will be, let's say it's gonna be progress value kind of percentage done or something like that. So you want to show actually where we are. This has to be like that. I think we don't even need to use the curly bracket. So, okay, so far so good. We just, oh, it has to be a double. My bad. Makes sense because you want to show maybe also 25.6%. So that's correct. Okay. We have passed the value to our circular progress indicator. The only thing that we need to do, we need to somehow simulate this download thing, because I don't have anything right now to actually do a real download. So I have a code here that I have written before. I'm just going to copy that over. Basically, this is just a simulation. We are going to, so I'm going to use a timer, so we have to import this and this has to be like that, by the way. That was wrong. Okay, so we want to update the progress whenever we click on the floating action button. So actually we want to run our download when we do that. So let's say update progress when we click on our floating action button. So what this does is basically it passes a duration of 1 second to the timer.periodic. That means that every second we change the state and we do it 0.2 at a time. So basically that means by the time that you reach 100%, I think, yeah, 5 seconds has passed. Seconds have passed. So basically when we reach 100%, we set loading on false and we cancel our timer and we set the progress value again on 0. Okay, let's restart the application. So let's press the, oh, basically I have to keep this in, I think. Let's do it one more time. Yes, sorry, that was it. So basically you click on that, it goes until 100% and stop. So what we are going to do, actually, this is a better thing to do. Let's say widget get progress, then we'll do return. First of all, we are going to do I'm gonna have a string of progress, and that will be our progress value times 100. And then we return, it's better, I think, progress percent done, and then we just pass this as a didn't pass it because it's not a string, it's a widget. So let's run this again. And let's see. Okay, now it works kind of okay-ish, but you get the idea. So every time you click, every second, 20% of the progress is added to the previous progress. And when we reach 100%, we stop. Basically, we can do the same for linear progress indicator. We just have to pass here the value, which is the progress value, and basically reload the application. So as you can see, the progress is updated and finishes when it's done. If you liked my video, if you learned how to use linear progress indicators and circular progress indicators in Flutter, please like my video and subscribe, and I will have a lot more tutorials coming, and I will upload at least once a week. So okay, see you in my next video. Bye.